Hello, all performers. Let's talk about something that you don't often hear mentioned in peak performance psychology, the fear of success. And you've probably heard the opposite of this, where you've heard about the fear of failure. And I feel like that's something that's tossed around a lot. And I don't know that it's actually 100% completely accurate for a lot of people, just because it's sort of like the perfectionism thing where you hear some people say, well, I'm just a perfectionist. You'll hear a lot of people say that they're driven by a fear of failure. But if you are actually driven by a fear of failure, then you can't be anything else other than a massive success because you're going to go as far away from that as possible. So the interesting thing in really looking at peak performance psychology, and something that I think about a lot and that I've discussed with a lot of others, is actually the fear of success. And I got in this conversation with someone that's very high up in a financial services company the other day, and we were talking about it. And I think one of the difficulties with a fear of success, whether you're just ascending the ranks in a company, or whether maybe you're a speaker or an author or a coach or a social media influencer, the interesting thing about it is, one of the conversations that we were having is that there will always be a certain percentage of people that just don't like you, that just, for whatever reason, just don't like you. And I always say, if as you're a leader in whatever area you're growing or you're leading, if you're for everybody, you're for nobody. And the interesting thing about a fear of success is it's always a percentage. And I don't know exactly what the percentage is, but when you put yourself out there and when you grow more and more and have more people following you or directly reporting to you in a company, or part of your social media following, or reading your books, listen to you speak, whatever it happens to be, there is always going to be a percentage of those people that just don't agree with what you're saying. And sometimes I've made the mistake of, whether you're on Twitter or anything else, you look at some of these really big influencers just in different areas and people that I follow, and you kind of scroll through and read what people are saying. And some people are just ruthless out there with what they say. And you realize that you just can't possibly please everyone. But the reason that this ties back to a fear of success, and what I see with a lot of people, is that if you're focusing on those people, the people that you're going to be rubbing the wrong way and the naysayers, and you're afraid of, and you don't have a thick enough skin to be able to handle all of those comments, you're never fully going to put yourself out there and want to do the things that you need to be, quote unquote, successful or high achieving, whatever that means to you. Because as you grow, as you ascend, and as you develop a following, you're going to have a greater number of people that just don't like the cut of your jib. It's just the way that it is. And it's something that I notice as well, where whether it's a book review or somebody posting on a social media post of mine, or just comments here or there or anything else, it's just the way that it goes. And it requires a thick skin sometimes. And even when you're trying to do your best to really put yourself out there and, do good in this world, it can sometimes be a very difficult thing. So what the heck do you do about it to kind of get around this fear of success? Because with a fear of success comes expectations, and comes just, again, those people that aren't necessarily going to agree with you no matter what it is that you say. So one of the comments that I remember, or the teachings that I remember my mom always said to me growing up, is she always said, Scotty, she always called me Scotty, Scotty, consider the source. And that's something that I try to remember anytime that I read or hear or see some comment about me, where I just say, no, all I'm trying to do is make the world a better place, and you're going to come at me like this. I try to consider the source. And you know what? Let's just call it what it is. Sometimes people are going to want to rain on your parade because they've no parade of their own. And one of my favorite quotes of all time, if you've ever heard the one, "In the Arena," I think it was Teddy Roosevelt, fantastic quote, and I always just look at it's the one where he talks about being in the arena, and if your face isn't marred by dust and sweat and blood. I think about that, and I think about, you know what, if you've never been in the arena, in my case, if you've never been in the arena as an author, as a speaker, as a coach, as someone that puts themselves out there on social media, if you haven't been out there and haven't been in the arena yourself, I'm going to consider the source on that one. And quite honestly, I'm not going to take it personally. I'm not going to listen to you. And the interesting thing that you will find about a lot of people that just want to tear you down and just don't want to agree with whatever it is that you're saying is you'll realize that they've never actually tried to do what it is that you are trying to do or been in your shoes, because the people that will respond to you in a negative way are never those people. So you have to consider the source first off. And then the second part of it is, I mentioned it before, if you're for everybody, you're for nobody. And I sometimes say, don't be a lukewarm leader, meaning one of the worst things that I think any of us can probably do in this world is to just put ourselves out there and to have everybody just kind of say, yeah, that was okay. Yeah, like, well, I mean, it's not a right and a wrong. Like, I'm okay with that person, but you're just kind of bland white rice and people are a little bit indifferent to you. What you actually want is you want maybe some people saying, you know what, I don't agree at all with what that person has to say. But the flip side of those other people, the ones that are not, I don't like whatever this person says or does, you will have people that are absolute raving fans of yours that will love you, that will run through a brick wall for you, that will be your true tribe and your legion of followers and fans and people that whether it's they'll run through a brick wall for you in a company, or they'll just follow you on social, or they'll read all your books or whatever it happens to be. But you have to be willing to, if you are going to have this, then you are going to have some of that in the way of people that love you and people that really don't like you at all. But by shifting the focus away from the source of some of these people that no matter what you say or do are going to try to rain on your parade because they have no parade of their own, if you shift that focus to the people that will love you almost no matter what you say or do, because they can see your authenticity, they can see your heart, and they can see the good that you're actually trying to do in this world. So if you just do those two very simple things, if you consider the source and if you focus on the people that love you, that don't just like you, that don't just think you're okay, but the people that are truly your raving fans, you're going to have less of a fear of success. You're going to be more willing to really play a bigger game at a bigger level and put yourself out there. And you're truly going to be outperforming the norm. As always, wishing you the best of health, happiness, high performance. Have a great day.